Hi there, Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell here with WHAS 11 News in Louisville. I have a very special guest with me today. It's the new MIC, or Meteorologist in Charge of the National Weather Service office here in Louisville, Kevin Deitsch. Kevin, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be back.
Yeah, welcome back to Louisville.
Yeah. So I was here back in 2012 to 2016 as a forecaster at the office here, and we loved it so much we wanted to come back. So it really is nice to be back what we called home just a few years ago.
Yeah, full circle here. So today, just in this conversation, we're going to get to know Kevin a little bit more, get to know his role, his background, and also what you see as kind of the future of this office. But first, we'll start with kind of the easy question. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What got you interested in weather?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. So, not far
Right
from
down
here
the
at all.
road.
Right down the road.
Yeah.
Actually, we settled in Crestwood, so it's even closer,
Okay, yeah.
closer for me now. So my family's still up there. From there, loved weather as a kid. Would watch weather and always will remember watching on our front porch. We had this wood bench. I was probably 5-6 years old and watching the weather roll in. We faced west, which is always a great place to face for you weather watchers.
Yeah.
So then from there, went up to Valparaiso University, got my meteorology degree up there. That's up in Northwest Indiana. And then I got lucky enough to get an internship into the National Weather Service at that point. So did that in Wilmington, Ohio, went to Des Moines, Iowa, came here to Louisville. I was here from 2012 to 2016 the first time. Then went to St. Louis for about 10 years and wanted to come back to this awesome city.
Yeah,
So
well, we're
here we
happy to have you back.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Is there one particular weather event, whether it be from your childhood or while you've been a meteorologist, that kind of sticks out in your mind?
There is, yeah. So the Blue Ash tornado up in near the Cincinnati area. Blue Ash is kind of a suburb of Cincinnati. It was in the mid-90s. I forget the exact year, but it was a pretty high-end tornado, actually an overnight tornado. So I remember having to get up. My mom and dad woke me up and took me to the basement, and I remember just being not even scared, more fascinated that something like this could happen at 2, 3 in the morning. And so it really just kind of lit the fire that, I want to learn more about this, and that's, I think, what's kind of driven me as far as, this, so.
Yeah, and for your career, you've worked in very active weather markets.
Yeah.
It's probably difficult to pinpoint
Yeah.
but is there
Yeah.
anything that sticks out?
There's a bunch, a couple that come to mind, mostly in St. Louis, just because I was there the longest,
Right.
10 years. But yeah, so 2019, Jefferson City, Missouri, the state capital of Missouri, got hit by an EF3 tornado. Once again, kind of a late night. It was more like midnight when that one hit. But just the fact, it did damage literally right through. It almost hit the capital, the state capital. That's just how kind of traumatic it was. So that one I will remember because I did the survey the following day, just saw the devastation of people. And it really just sunk in at that point just how important our jobs are in the weather enterprise, especially in these populated areas where, so much death and construction can happen in such a short amount of time. And then another one that comes to mind, we actually had a freezing drizzle event.
Oh,
I know we got plenty of those
Those
here.
were the worst, yeah.
But that was over in St. Louis as well, and it was not the best forecast, and so just a lot of the first responders weren't ready for it. The DOT wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And there was actually several schools that had to keep their students overnight because they couldn't get them home. That's just how bad the roads were, just the sheets of ice.
Yeah.
And so I've learned from that one that freezing drizzle don't mess around with and be
No.
pretty aggressive with.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are two that kind of really stick in my mind as far as just massive impacts.
Okay, yeah. So, you mentioned coming back to Louisville. What kind of solidified that move back for you? Was it the position? Was it just the community? Being closer to home?
Sure, kind of all the above. Being closer to home, certainly nice. So we have 2 little girls, a 3 and a 4-year-old. So getting them close to family was important, getting them close to grandma and my sister. But then also, the job itself. So the National Weather Service is kind of undergoing what we're calling a transformation, where we're, maybe spending a little less time in the office, kind of, behind our computers and out more in the community. And that's something I'm really passionate about. I was a former warning coordination meteorologist, which that was kind of my job at the St. Louis office. And so I'm excited about the new direction, and I wanted to kind of bring that here to Louisville and kind of lead that initiative here locally.
Yeah, so explain to the viewers at home, what is an MIC? Meteorologist in Charge. What does that mean? What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. Yeah, the title's silly. Meteorologist in Charge, it sounds too, big. But, I lead the office is essentially what it is. And so, being part of the federal government, there is some administrative things that daily I have to do. But really, what I kind of see my job is to empower my employees, get them to where they want to go. get them excited about being out in the community and seeing, the need that the community has for weather information, and getting them excited to get out and doing that. So, like I said, I think, I'm hoping my passion about this is contagious for the office, and it'll kind of bring everybody with me to get out and just see, all the decisions that are made on a day-to-day basis for weather. I just don't think we have any idea of how many high-level decisions some of these people are making. And I want to make sure that, if they are making really high-level decisions, that they have the best information possible.
Yeah, I mean, because within the weather enterprise, there's so many facets of it. There's media, there's you guys, there's the emergency management, there's government just in general. And so it kind of takes a lot of teamwork. And sometimes those connections can be a little bit loose or broken, and so it's important to always repair those.
And you bring up a great point. One thing that I really want to bring here is what's called an integrated warning team. And so that brings together the TV meteorologist, the emergency managers, school officials, DOT officials, all into the same room. And the idea is to kind of build us up as a team. Make sure that us, media and weather service are kind of speaking the same language, on the same page. So then those folks who are making those, do we need to plow? Do we need to cancel school? Making those high-level decisions, that they kind of all understand where we're coming from more.
Right.
And I think that'll really go a long way to kind of build those connections from the whole weather enterprise and everyone, involved in responding to weather as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned before we got on air here that you're going to start working more so than you already are with the emergency management officials and getting into the EOCs more. Yeah,
so I'm really excited. So EOC is an Emergency Operations Center. So this is where, if there's like the UPS plane crash, God forbid, something like large, devastating, they activate these EOCs to deal with, the response. And so my thought is, let's get meteorologists in these EOCs frequently. Just so, when there is that disaster, whether it's a tornado, winter storm, flash flood, whatever it might be, they have that relationship with us. I always say, it's never good to hand out a business card at a disaster, right? You want to have those relationships first. And so that's the idea, is to understand kind of where they're coming from. They understand where we're coming from. And so when those disasters strike, we all kind of know what the response is going to be.
Yeah, that's great. And we were talking about your position, MIC. So a lot of folks here in town and who watch our show, Whether or Not Weekly, know the former MIC, John Gordon, big personality. And, what's your relationship like with John? You already worked under him, right?
Yeah, so what's funny is John actually came to Valparaiso University when I was a student there, and I will never forget, I credit him for getting me into the Weather Service. He gave a presentation on how to interview and the great things about the Weather Service, and I honestly owe a lot of my career to him for coming up there. So yeah, talk about full circle. It really is, to replace this mentor and this person that you look up to come in and replace him as the MIC is really humbling, to be honest. So.
Yeah, well, he thinks very highly of you. I won't speak for him, but I know he does. So
thank you.
It's great to have you back. What else would you like the public to know about the National Weather Service? Ways to contact you, meet you guys, kind of put faces to the organization.
Yeah, so we're trying a lot harder to be out in the community. So the good thing is we've done a lot of hiring in the last 6 months. I think I'm bringing on 5 or 6 new employees just in the last 6 months. So that gives us more bodies, to get out in the community more. So I'm really hoping, school outreach, spotter talks, if people want to come in for tours, we do offer tours. So I want the Weather Service to kind of be like a household name. I want people to know, put a face to us, and really see, our employees, including myself, out in the community more. So I think it's really important, as a federal employee, it's important to kind of be transparent and show people all the great things that we can do. And so that's kind of my goal, is to get our people out and, a lot of face time with the community that we serve.
And this is kind of a curveball question, but AI is a big talker.
Sure.
Would you like to share anything about AI and the weather enterprise and how that's kind of evolving?
Yeah, so, our forecast, it's no secret AI is becoming more and more a piece of that. It's smart to leverage good technology, right? And so that's one of the reasons that it's starting to free up a little bit of time for us, is we can leverage AI for some of the, maybe the longer term parts of the forecast or parts of the forecast where it doesn't need as much human intervention. And so we can leverage that to free up time for our forecasters. So that, again, kind of speaks to, now we can get out more. Now we can do more training. So when we have, like tomorrow night, the storm maybe coming in late, we have that ability to train all the time on those kind of systems that are coming in. So Yeah, I'm really excited. AI, of course, there's some scariness to it as far as all of our jobs go, right?
Right.
But right now, I think we're leveraging it in the right way to kind of free up time where it's needed and where it's appropriate to get our employees out and doing more things.
Was there anything else you'd like to add or talk about in terms of the future of the National Weather Service as a whole, your office specifically, your role?
Yeah, I just want to, kind of reiterate, we're here for the people in the community. It's a huge passion of mine. The work that we do, protecting life and property and enhancing the national economy is our mission. That will never change. And so I'm really excited. We've got a lot of new, young, energetic people in our office now, including myself, I guess, in a way, as far as the new part goes. So I'm really excited to get out. And like I said, I want people to know that we've got their backs. And I've got a staff that's just really passionate about what we do. We're always kind of looking for the next weather event, making sure that we've got the appropriate, warning and messaging out on it. And so, I'm just excited to continue that more and really build the staff up to be experts in everything that we do.
Well, I think the National Weather Service office is in great hands with you. Leading once again, this is the new MIC meteorologist in charge of NWS Louisville, Kevin Deitsch. Thanks for coming in, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks.
Looking forward to working with you even more and more moving forward. And for you all at home, thanks for watching.